You've heard this before, and ironically, I'm not here to preach to you on this one. But don't be texting and driving. And while we're at it, don't be talking on your cell phone and driving either. And while we're at that, should we even be praying and driving? What? Did I just say not to pray and drive? Sort of. As much faith as I know we all have in God, I'm going to go on record and say do not close your eyes, fold your hands together, and pray while you're driving. This might sound kind of silly, but for the longest time, I really believed that to pray correctly, you had to do the classic close your eyes and bow your head kind of approach. The Bible says that we're to pray continuously, that we are to pray all the time. And how in the world this is possible? And can we even do this while we're driving? Well, if we only have one posture of prayer, this is going to be impossible. Posture is how we hold a position with our bodies. A posture is also an approach or even an attitude. All through the Bible, you see people with different postures when they pray. Some kneeling, some standing, sitting down, even laying down. So, is there one way or one right posture to pray from? I'm going to say no. There's a Bible verse in Ephesians that says that we should, and I quote, pray in the Spirit on all occasions with all kinds of prayers and requests. And so it looks like there are all kinds of prayers. Sometimes people like to make lists of types of the 5 kinds or 7 kinds of prayers of this or that, but at its most fundamental, prayer is talking to God. It's having a conversation with Jesus. When I talk to my wife or my kids, I don't categorize our discussions as conversations of petition or talks of agreement or thanksgiving or adoration. We just talk about different things in different situations, different needs, concerns. I love you too. Let's keep it real here. Having a conversation like this with my wife, who is sitting right next to me, is much, much easier than having a conversation with Jesus, whom I can't see. This takes work and it takes practice. So how do we practice? Well, first, recognize that to pray is to commune with God. Does that word sound familiar? Sounds a lot like communicating, which is really the heart of prayer. Healthy prayer is healthy communication, and that's a two-way street. When we're communicating, we're sharing, we're giving and receiving ideas, thoughts, and feelings. The second way to practice is to find ways to remind yourself to pray. Like right now, one thing I'm praying is for God to help me and you be in His presence today. I've posted that up in a little sticky note on the side of my desk, and every time I look over at it, I say, God, help me be in your presence today. Just like that. Try it with me. If you have a sticky note or piece of paper, write it down. If you have a smartphone, put it on your calendar or to-do app and have it remind you to shift your attention heavenward. So for sure, turn off the electronic devices while you're driving. The one place where we should have constant streaming communication is with God. Praying at all times with all kinds of prayers makes that happen.